the small mistakes that trigger memory fear? It can shake you for hours when one small mistake slips out of nowhere and your mind rushes straight to fear. You lose one simple word, you walk into a room and stop. Suddenly, you are not just confused, you are scared. The fear often comes fast, faster than the mistake itself. One tiny slip and your heart starts asking hard questions. You may look calm on the outside. Inside, everything tightens. You wonder if this is how something serious begins. Maybe it happened in the kitchen. You opened a cabinet, then stood there staring, trying to remember why. Maybe it happened during a phone call. A familiar name vanished for a few seconds and you felt your whole body sink. Maybe you told the same story twice. You saw the look on someone's face and the rest of the day felt heavy. Maybe you missed a date on the calendar. Not a huge event, just enough to make you question yourself. That is what makes these moments so painful. They look small from the outside, but they do not feel small to you. A missing word can follow you all day. A forgotten errand can sit in your chest for hours. You may replay it while washing dishes. You may think about it while trying to fall asleep. You may ask yourself quiet questions you never wanted to ask. Is this normal? Is this the beginning? Should I be worried? Sometimes you try to brush it off. You say everyone forgets things, but deep down, the fear stays. Sometimes you laugh a little to cover it, but later, when you are alone, the laugh is gone. You may start testing yourself. What was I about to do? What did I eat yesterday? What is that neighbor's name? You may notice every pause in your thinking. Every delay feels louder than it used to. If you had a poor night of sleep, the fear may feel even bigger the next morning. You wake up foggy, your thoughts feel slow. Even simple choices seem harder than they should. Then something tiny happens. You misplace your glasses. You forget why the coffee is still on the counter. And right away, your mind does not say, I am tired. It says, what if something is wrong? That kind of fear is exhausting, not because of one mistake, but because of what the mistake seems to mean. You may feel embarrassed when family notices. Even if they are kind, your stomach still drops. You may start hiding little slips. You may answer quickly, smile, and move on before anyone asks more. You may write things down more than before, then wonder if that means your mind is failing. You may check your pill organizer twice, then 3 times, not because you are careless, but because you are afraid. You may stand in the grocery aisle with a list in your hand and still feel lost for a moment. You may know exactly what you want to say, but the word does not come when you need it. That pause can feel much longer than it really is. It can feel like a spotlight is on you. And when the moment passes, the fear does not always pass with it. Sometimes it grows. If this touches something tender in you, stay here with me for a moment. Just breathe. You do not have to rush. You do not need to solve your whole future right now. You only need a little calm and some honest understanding. Because these fears do not appear out of nowhere. They're tied to love, memory, identity, and how safe you feel inside your own mind. When a small mistake happens, it may not be the mistake that hurts most. It may be the meaning you attach to it. You may think, I used to be sharp. I used to trust myself more. I used to feel steady. That loss of confidence can hurt deeply. Even when your daily life still works, your peace may not feel the same. And fear itself can make thinking harder. That part matters more than most people realize. When you get anxious, your mind narrows. It gets busy watching for danger instead of staying relaxed and clear. Then normal little slips can happen more easily, not because you are broken, but because pressure changes how you think. Sleep matters too. One rough night can make names feel farther away and simple tasks feel strangely heavy. Stress matters. Grief matters. Pain matters. A change in routine can matter more than you expect. So can loneliness. So can too much noise in your day. So can carrying too much inside your heart. Even common medicines can sometimes leave you feeling foggy or slow. That does not always mean something terrible is happening. Normal aging can also bring some changes. It may take longer to recall a word or shift between tasks. That can be frustrating, but slower does not always mean dangerous. A pause is not always a warning sign. The hard part is that fear does not like gentle explanations. Fear likes worst-case stories. So one missed word becomes a dark question. One forgotten reason for entering a room becomes a long private worry. You may not tell anyone how often you think about it. Some fears feel too personal to say out loud. You may worry that if you speak the fear, it will become more real, so you carry it quietly. You may look for signs all day. Did I repeat myself? Did I forget that name again? Did I lose track? That constant checking can wear you down. It can make your mind feel less free and less natural. Sometimes you stop trusting normal moments. You no longer see a simple slip as simple. You see it as proof, even when it is not proof at all. You may also compare yourself to who you were years ago. That comparison can be very painful. You remember how quickly things came to you then, how easy names and plans once felt. So now even a small delay can feel like a personal loss, not just of memory, but of self. If you are feeling that, I want you to notice something gently. Fear has probably been talking louder than facts. Ask yourself, when does the fear hit hardest? After bad sleep, during stress, when someone is watching, when you are already tired. Ask yourself which moment scares you most. A missing word, a missed appointment, repeating something you already said. You do not have to answer out loud. Just notice it honestly. That alone can bring a little clarity. Because once you see the pattern, the fear starts losing some of its mystery. It becomes something you can understand better. And understanding brings relief. Not perfect relief, but enough to help you breathe again. One small memory slip does not define your future. It does not tell your whole story. One foggy morning does not explain your whole mind. One embarrassing moment is not a verdict. You are allowed to step back from the worst thought. You are allowed to say, let me look gently first. That is where steadiness begins. Not in panic, in honest attention. One helpful step is to name the fear when it shows up, quietly, kindly, without shame. You might say, this scared me. I felt a slip, and my mind went straight to danger. Kind of naming sounds simple, but it matters. It separates the event from the fear around it. The event may be small, the fear may be huge. When you see the difference, you gain a little room. Another helpful step is to track patterns instead of judging single moments. This can calm the mind more than guessing. You do not need a perfect chart. A small notebook is enough. Just write what happened and what surrounded it. Was it after poor sleep, after a stressful call, during a rushed morning, after skipping lunch, during pain? Over time, patterns may appear. That can be more useful than letting one scary moment speak for everything. It also helps you notice if things stay mild, come and go, or feel like they are changing. That leads to another gentle support, protecting sleep as much as you can. Sleep does not fix everything, but it supports more than most people realize. Your mind feels the difference. A calmer evening can help. Less noise, less late-night worry, a steady routine before bed. Even if sleep is not perfect, being kind to your tired brain matters. A tired brain is easier to frighten. Another support is reducing pressure during the day, not because you are weak, but because pressure steals clarity. Try doing one thing at a time when you can. Let the task in front of you be enough. If you walk into a room, pause before starting the next thought. Give your mind one clear lane. If you need lists, use them without shame. Writing things down is not failure. It is wise support. A note by the door, a calendar on the table, a pillbox with a simple routine. These small supports do not mean you are falling apart. They mean you are taking good care of yourself. You deserve systems that make life easier. You do not have to prove your strength by remembering everything alone. It can also help to keep your mind engaged in gentle ways, not with pressure, with life. A conversation, a recipe, a crossword, a walk where you notice houses, trees, or birds. A mind often does better when it is being used with interest, not fear. Curiosity is softer than self-testing. And if something truly feels unusual, grows over time, or begins to affect daily life more clearly, talk to your doctor. That is not giving in to fear. That is giving yourself support and honest information. You do not need to wait until panic takes over. You are allowed to ask calm questions. Sometimes just having a real conversation brings relief. It can replace guessing with something steadier. There is also something deeply important in telling someone you trust how scared you have been. Not everyone will understand right away, but you still deserve not to carry this alone. You are not foolish for feeling alarmed by memory slips. You are not dramatic. You are not weak. You care because your mind matters to you. Your memories matter to you. Your independence matters to you. That is not weakness. That is love. Love for your life and the person you have always been. And you are still that person, even on the days when a name takes longer to arrive. You are still that person when you stand in the kitchen and lose your place for a minute. You are still that person when a word disappears and comes back later. You are still you. Fear likes to tell a cruel story. It says one small mistake changes everything. But your life is bigger than one moment. Your worth is bigger than one pause. Your mind may need more rest, more calm, more support, or more patience than it once did. That is not the same as being broken. It is not the same as being lost. If you have been silently judging yourself, I hope you can loosen that grip a little today. You've carried enough fear already. You do not need to add cruelty on top of it. Try speaking to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love, gently, truthfully, without shame. You might say, "That moment scared me, but I am going to look at it with care." You might say, "I do not have to let one slip decide what tomorrow means." You might say, "I can get support, build habits, and breathe before I assume the worst." Sometimes that quiet voice is the turning point. Not loud confidence, just a softer, steadier way of meeting yourself. So if you have been feeling nervous every time you lose a word or forget a small thing, please hear this clearly. You are not alone in that fear, and you are not silly for feeling it. You are not failing because your mind has vulnerable moments. You are human, tired sometimes, and deeply aware. That awareness can hurt, yes, but it can also guide you toward care instead of panic. Let this be the part you remember tonight. One mistake is not your whole future. One foggy day is not the final answer. One pause is not the whole story of your mind. You can move forward with more calm than fear, with more support than shame. You can notice patterns, care for sleep, lower pressure, use simple reminders, and ask for help when needed. Those are not signs of defeat. They are signs of wisdom. And wisdom often looks quiet. It looks like breathing before panicking. It looks like writing something down. It looks like telling the truth about what scares you. It looks like being gentle with yourself anyway. If this gave a name to what you've been feeling, I am glad you stayed with it. If you want, you can leave a simple comment like, "This fear feels familiar." Sometimes even that can feel relieving. And if this kind of gentle support helps you, you can like the video and subscribe for more calm conversations like this. For now, be kind to yourself tonight. You do not need to solve everything. You only need to remember that you are still you.